And good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I am James Scorza filling in for Tom Kelly this week. With me, as always, is the group of companions on this crazy Saturday morning, Joe Marks.
Good morning, Philadelphia.
Damon Salim.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy playoff Saturday, Go Birds.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for this day to begin. We got a lot to get to today. I guess we can first talk
Oh,
about. We got a
what?
lot to get to. So,
Yes, we do.
in
It
the
is.
words of Seinfeld, yada yada yada.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Let's get on to the Philly sports talk scene. And Joey, where do we begin on this crazy Eagles playoff weekend and Philly sports weekend on this Saturday?
Listen, it is Super Sports Saturday. And here at Pattison Ave Phanatics, we are going to kick it off the right way. We
Yes,
have
sir.
we have the Philadelphia Wings today against the Rock. The Rock, not Dwayne the Rock Johnson, The Rock, at Wells Fargo at 1 p.m. I got a little bit of an inside tip for those who may be heading down to the link and get and enjoying some adult beverages. At 7 o'clock, we have the Flyers playing the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit. Then we have 8:15, your Philadelphia Eagles, New York Giants playoff football, electrifying the link, as James Scorja coined just a couple minutes ago.
Yep.
And then 10 o'clock, we have the Sixers and the Kings in Sacramento. This is by far soup to nuts. I mean, the one Saturday that had the Phillies and the Union, this probably far out surpasses that day from wall to wall sports. Now, my tip for people that are going to possibly go down to the link, there is, if you are planning on going down or already trying to go down to the link to tailgate, you will not be able to tailgate in the lot unless you have a Wings ticket. Listen, my suggestion to everyone, Wings tickets aren't that expensive. Buy a $20 Wings ticket, go get into your lot, go get set up. Like I said to James before we came on air, the Wings are going to have a sellout without really having a sellout. That's fine. Let's get our lather going because the main event is at 8:15.
Yes, sir.
So, just to let everybody know, like, get your wings, get your situation, get the grill going, get a couple beverages in. But we're gonna start with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay.
The Philadelphia 76ers on a West Coast trip have been red hot.
Yep.
And I gotta ask, they're gonna be facing the Kings tonight. But then on Wednesday and next Saturday, they're going to be facing both the Brooklyn Nets and the two-time MVP Jokic.
Yeah.
My question to you guys to start off, is this hot streak by the Sixers sustainable? And is this legit? Dame, I'll start with you.
Is it sustainable? Absolutely. It's for so many levels. When you look at the team, the way they're constructed, the way they started out the season, and everyone was upset when they started out 0-3 and then 1-4, rightfully so. I mean, because the expectations is high, but at the same time, you can now see where they're gelling. And for a young player like Maxey, let me talk about this kid, man. He's special. And
He is.
yeah, you know what I mean, James. And for him to go to the coach and say, "Listen, bring me off the bench." It's not him saying he doesn't believe he's a starter. He knows he's a starter. We all knows he's a starter. But for the sake and sacrifice of the team, he's like, "Look, let me come off the bench and I can help that second unit, and he's finishing the game, and he's getting his points, he's getting his minutes. Shake Milton's like, look, I'm not going back to the bench. Y'all not putting me back on the bench. I'm out here. He's playing well. Melton's scoring is going down a bit, but I get it because of his defense is helping offset a lot of things. So in that regards, yeah, it's sustainable. I just read we may not see Harden tonight. They want to kind of Joey manage that tendon. But that's okay because we have a big game coming up. Listen, they just moved into second place, man. They're in second place in the East right now. So this is a different vibe, a different team. And I believe this team is built for the playoffs. I believe this unit right here is definitely built for the playoffs.
You know, there was something, and I want to kind of hit on something you said about Maxey and him sacrificing, the word sacrifice. You know, for me, I heard something Alice say, and it made a lot of sense, and it's not something I really thought about. I don't think it's something many people thought about. When Maxey's in the starting rotation, starting lineup, it looks good. I mean, it really looks good because of how great of a player he is. However, when you have two guys like Joel Embiid and James Harden, and even Tobias Harris, that there's like a demand for their participation, there's a point where Maxey has to change his game because he's kind of standing around.
Yeah.
Like, he can't just go off. Like, because if he goes off, then Embiid or Harden's not going off, and then, you know, someone's wasting minutes on the floor, precious minutes on the floor. So with Maxey coming off the bench, you could just let the dog off the leash. Doc could basically like go, do what you want to do. It's yours. Go. Like, he can be ball dominant and be just himself. And I think when he was in the starting lineup, not that it was a terrible thing, and like he said it, Maxey said it in his press conference. He says, I know I'm a starter in this league. We all do. We all know you're a starter in this league. But we have an embarrassment of riches right now on this team. And right now we have to, like, some guys have to put their egos aside. We had talked about this before, Dame, is would Tobias come off the bench? And like, forget about the money. I get that everyone would be like, well, you're paying all that guy all that money. You're going to bring him up. Look at the Lakers with Westbrook. I mean, that's absurd. And I wouldn't even put Toby in the same conversation, in the same atmosphere as Russell Westbrook in regards of attitude, team loyalty, and all that. Right. So you have an embarrassment of riches, and Doc just has to figure out what best lineup lets everyone play free. Lets everyone play fast and free and play like themselves. James, is this team going to possibly end up as a number one seed in the East?
It sure looks like it. I think the one thing I take out of it is that the last couple of games they have looked. I mean, like you said with the Maxey stuff, Dame. Like, he looks really. He looks like he's like ready to take off. You know, same thing with it. I mean, the same thing with Embiid. The thing with the Sixers, I think that's really surprising me, even better than they were last year, is that they're getting a lot of good rebounds, and I think that's the one thing I take out of it too, is that when they rebound well, like last year, we were like yelling at our TV that I couldn't get a rebound for God knows apparent reason, but then they're actually making it out to become a real good contender in if they can make it to if they can make it to the number one seed, that'll be great. But right now, I mean, I think they're the probably hottest team in all of basketball.
No, you're right. And just to piggyback off what you said in regards to the rebound, what I'm taking from it too, James, and the Clippers game specifically, and the Trailblazers game. Shout out to my man Tony Brothers and his crew again.
I was waiting for it.
I was waiting for it coming. I didn't even poke the bear. I
didn't poke it,
dude. Okay, let me stay positive because I just can't. Like that foul they called on Melton, he didn't even touch Lillard. He didn't even touch him, Joe. But anyway, before I forget my thought, it seems like they're tightening up their defense in the fourth quarter where it really counts. And then Maxi's finishing the game. He's finishing the game like he's on the court at the end. So, yeah, he's allowed to let loose, and like Joe said, and that bench needs that, and they're feeding off of him. So now I double team him. Oh, Shake's gonna go get his. Oh, my bad, Niang. And now Thibault, the way they're using him, it's like, you know what? If you don't shoot, fine, but your defense is really helping out, and then Montrez is getting his. So, it's a shame. My buddy asked me about Paul Reed. I'm like, dude, I get it. Some guys, you're not going to make the lineup. You're just not. I mean,
I
can't throw Paul Reed in just for the sake of throwing him in there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no room right now. I'm sorry. I mean, but I'm not going to get rid of Paul Reed. But there's no room.
Look at like Furkan Korkmaz and Daniel House Jr. and Paul Reed and
Montrezl Harrell is another big piece.
Montrezl is getting more minutes, which I like, but you know, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. It's an embarrassment of riches, and some guys on this team just have to kind of, you know, look. Some nights you're going to be called on, other nights you're not.
Just be ready.
Yeah, just be ready, stay ready. But you know, talking about Maxey coming off that bench and how much of an explosion and how freed up the Sixers prior to Maxey coming off the bench was 20. Go ahead, James.
No, I was just gonna do one of my reads, but I can wait till you're done.
Maxey coming off the bench was 20. The bench scoring was 24th in the NBA with 34 points. Maxey coming off the bench, that thing has skyrocketed to over 38 points, and has jumped up to almost top 10 in the NBA with bench scoring.
Oh my God!
Okay, so this is a team that
didn't have a bench last year,
right? But this is the fact. This is the fact.
Right.
But it's an embarrassment of riches because usually the teams that have a good bench don't have a good starting lineup. We don't have that problem. We have too much to put into that start. I mean, right now, Doc's like, you know, I it's not that I don't want to give the young guys time. I don't know where to give them time.
It's true.
It's not enough minutes in the game.
Right. We need to play overtime so I can put people in. Like, I need like double overtime games. So, but James, where could people get tickets for upcoming Sixers home games?
Yes, sir. It's proudly sponsored by Sherry'sTickets.com. You can use the promo code EOP10 and save 10%. And it's great for sports, concerts, and theater. Great prices, no hidden fees. You can visit our website at www.Sherry'sTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Sherry's Tickets is the number one place to go, and I wish I could have done. And you could just say 10% using EOP10, but I think I used another brand. But Sherry'sTickets.com is the place to go if you want to go to the game tonight or probably championship game. So use Sherry'sTickets.com for your next deposit, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but listen, the Sixers are going to be coming home Wednesday against the Nets, and now that other guy is there.
I got something to say about that too, but
go ahead, by all means.
Well, the thing about with the Jokic thing, I really started to think about this because I don't think it's an MVP trophy. It's more like a perfect attendance trophy. You know, it's about who was there like for the 82 games without it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad people are coming around to my logic here.
Hilarious.
Because I don't call it the most valuable player. I call it the most valuable participant.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
You clock in and you clock out.
Yeah.
And listen, let's be clear. He's not even a good employee because he clocks in and does half the work. He doesn't even do work on both ends of the court. He does half the work.
I had a guy on Facebook try to tell me that a couple of things about that. that Jokic plays defense. I'm like, dude, no, he does not. I said, my eyes see. He's not running down the court blocking shots. He's not doing that. He's not turning guys away from the rim.
Mm-hmm.
He goes,
yeah, but Dave, my eyes don't see, and I still know he's not playing defense. I don't need to have vision to not know that the man's not playing defense.
Joe, you don't hear the footsteps on the court running to chase the ball, right? So the guy says to me, he goes, his defense efficiency rating is second behind Jordan. I said, I don't give a darn about some defense efficiency rate, but that means nothing to me. Okay. So here's the thing. Jokic is a great player. I'm not going to knock that. But I think people get so caught up in his triple doubles. Fine. That's nice. Ben
Simmons did that for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been there, done that.
Yeah. But when you talk about overall play, by the way, Joe just moved up to third, Joe, in the MVP ladder. When you talk about overall play, it's not even close. It's not close. And then Hakeem Olajuwon, Dream, you are my guy, but I'm starting to look at you sideways. For you to make those comments and call him lazy and all this while he's shooting threes, people, Joel Embiid takes an average of 2 to 3 point shots a game, 2 to 3 at the most. And a lot of times it's out of transition. Sometimes clock is running. So, James, I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and it came to light. I said people kept crying about Joe going into the post. This is when 2-5 was on the team. I said, when you look at it, the reason why he couldn't go into the post a lot is because 2-5 was in that dunker spot, Joe, not shooting. Now it's crowded. Now this is at the time when Joe really wasn't a good passer. He's become a really, really good passer out of the double teams now. But at the time he wasn't. He was still learning. So when people kept complaining about him going, he couldn't because there wasn't room down there. Now, moving forward, you have a legitimate point guard who not only can score and get legitimate triple doubles, but gives him the ball at an easy spot where that 12-foot elbow is a layup. And then, oh, by the way, if I don't want to shoot that, I can go around you and dunk on you. So now there's more room for him to operate and to do more things because he has a point guard that people have to respect, and he didn't have that before. He was working harder because of 2-5's incompetent to do the things that they needed him to do.
I'm glad you brought that up because that segues into my next question, which is Embiid and Harden seem to be gaining chemistry, like ridiculous chemistry.
They're the best duo in the game.
And so my question is, how good can this duo be? Because look, the more games they play together, let's face it, the more games they play together, the more comfortable they're going to become. Even though they're already kind of comfortable now, the more they play, the more comfortable they're going to become. So my question is, how good can this duo really be? Like, what are we looking at?
I mean, it to me at this point, just continue to build what you have, and we all know we're sports junkies. You make your bones in the playoffs. That's the next level for them. That's the next ceiling to see what they do to others in the playoffs. And like Mark Jackson says, "Oh, I double team Harden. Dang, no, I can't. I got Joe. Oh no, Tobias is driving. Oh no, Maxi's coming and sprinting down court. It's like pick your poison."
Oh, and by the way, George Niang is scoring 3-pointers. By the way,
yeah, and so
he should be in the 3-point contest.
Yes,
he's talking about it, and so it's kind of weird, Joe. It's almost like this is crazy. Like their offense is comparable to the Eagles in the sense where you don't know who to defend, and if you go defend that guy, that other guy is going to cook you. Like Joe's going to cook you regardless. We already know that.
He's doing 40 and 10. Like it's all hum night. He's like, I'm just gonna do 35 and
sit out the rest
rebounds.
Of the fourth quarter.
Like, and Harden's doing like triple doubles in half.
Yeah.
Like, okay, dude, guys, relax. Like, save some of the fire for the fervor for the playoffs. I'm with you, Dame.
And we're not taking this lightly. I know we're laughing. We appreciate it because we've seen what preceded that, where we were like guys, I'll be like, why is Joe dribbling to the post?
Yeah.
He could walk, but now I get it. I'm like, oh, he had to do that
Mm-hmm.
because he couldn't get there because that other guy was clogging that space up, doing zero. And let me just say this real quick about Ben. They talked about him last night on ESPN, and Stephen A. Smith said it's sad. Like he got ejected from that game against I forget what he playing. He got kicked out the other night. And
why? Because he didn't shoot the ball.
Well, the one game he had a donut. The next game he had a triple double. But the other night I forget who they were playing. Eat me up, and he got kicked. He got ejected. And Jalen Rose said he didn't think he wanted to be there. It's
no.
Yeah, it's sad, man.
No, Ben doesn't want to be.
It's impossible.
Wow. Saying
listen. Hey, he's not our problem, and
no.
But
we are going to have to deal with him on Wednesday. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting.
That's easy.
Yeah,
just hack him.
Just double team Kyrie and play off of him. We know the formula. He's not going to shoot.
Yeah, we get that.
Just hack him.
Looking
for chicken.
Yeah, we'll get some extra chicken, Joe.
My God.
We'll get some extra chicken.
Everyone be ready for Thursday. You're all going to eat very well Thursday.
You're going to eat very well.
Thanksgiving 2023 comes early.
It's a new Chick-fil-A around the corner from me, too.
Oh, my God.
I got to christen it.
Dave's going to have a 50-piece. He's going to have a 50-piece like, dude, I'm chilling.
No, but the only thing about that game is the good thing is Wednesday, so they get Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. I'm coming off that road trip. Bless you.
But guess what? Your favorite thing's coming up. A 2-game home series with the Orlando Magic, back-to-back games.
Ooh, that's weird, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that when the league does that.
I don't like it.
Me neither, Joe.
But you're going to hate this one even worse. So then later on that week, they go to San Antonio. They go across country to San Antonio. Then they have to come all the way back to play the Knicks. Jesus. Why are you sending them across country and then sending them back across country? Like, why do they have to go through all of that? Just doesn't make it. Why not put the San Antonio trip on this West Coast swing? Why?
It doesn't make any sense.
Or what you could have done was split one of those Magic games, made that a Knick game, the San Antonio game on your way back, Texas, Florida, stop off. I mean,
yeah.
I did okay in geography, but I mean, like what the heck? Like that
makes one of us. But but the one thing with me with Embiid and Harden, it kind of I've been hearing now. I wasn't around. I wasn't around, but I wasn't old enough to understand it. So Dave, maybe you can shed some light on it. I'm hearing a lot of comparisons with James Harden and Maurice Cheeks. Is that a comparable comparison?
Yeah, Cheeks was a solid point guard. He had his 10-foot jump shot, right? He could make his 10-foot jump shot. Cheeks always found a way to find Dr. J. That was his first option. Charles Barkley had called him out on it at one time, some years down the line. But yeah, that's a good comparison. Cheeks was solid. Right, because I got you now. People are saying he did put people in the right position. That term wasn't used back then, but now when you look back on it, yeah, he got people in their right positions, got them to their spots. Doc's on the break, fed them. Bobby Jones on the break, fed them. Of course, him and Andrew Toney in the backcourt did their thing. Harden's more of a scorer than Cheeks was, because Cheeks was definitely on one of those pass first point guards, get everybody set up and get his, when he needed, and he was a solid defender. So yeah, that's a good comparison. I think in today's game, it's still hard for people to accept a 7'2" center playing like a guard. I think it's hard. I love it. I think it's unique as hell. Like I'm like, yo, that's what makes him amazing.
This is why I've made, and as much as sometimes Frank would
Thanks,
agree
Freddie
with,
Burns. Thank you, buddy.
as much as sometimes Frank would agree with me in some ways, and I know Frank is a big Wilt fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kind of put Embiid not in the Wilt conversation as far as like what Wilt did, as far as like the achievements, but like just how Wilt changed the game, how the perception of the game was. I think Embiid's doing the same thing because you're seeing more of these taller guys, these big men, come in trying to play more guard-like maneuvers. It's not the bully ball, and that's the thing. When I had the debate with you about a month or so ago, Dame, about Embiid down at the block, it's not the bully ball. It's not the Shaquille O'Neal,
Right.
David Robinson, Patrick Ewing kind of thing. It's that Embiid has this athleticism that and he's got the height and the athleticism and the size. Those are all three big intangibles. When you put him down on that block with all the possible moves he can do in his repertoire, because of how athletic he is, it just astonishes me. I mean, literally, he can pull anything out of his quiver and make it look astonishing.
Yeah.
Kate made a call. Kate Scott made a call the other night during the Clippers. I mean, not the Clippers game, the Lakers game.
Lakers game.
And she was like, I don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
And she said it on air, and I don't know if she realized she's like, I don't know how he did that. Yeah. I don't know how to call that because 7'2" players aren't supposed to move like that.
I'll piggyback what you said about that. It's just that me and my dad watched that game a couple nights ago, and we were like, it's pretty astounding to me because I obviously wasn't around for Wilt Chamberlain, but this to me is like Iverson times Wilt combined. Yeah. Like this is like, I mean, it's like he has the skills of Iverson, but tall like Wilt. It's like you said, Joe. It's astonishing.
That's the thing, is that he's got the playmaking ability of Iverson, but he's got the presence
of a
Wilt.
And to you guys' point, that's I agree with you wholeheartedly, Joe. Going back to the block, it goes back to the thing with Ben. So now I've been playing with this guy for 4 years or whatever, how many years they were together, right? This new guy comes in halfway to last season. Now we have him beginning of this season. Still trying to learn. I think there's, to your point, your few questions back, Joe, there's room, right? There's still lots to accomplish with those guys just on the court. So now he's going, oh, you want to double team me? Oh, I'm gonna go around you. Now I'm in the block. Yep. I score on you and I get my and one. Oh, by the way, he just happens to be a 90 or 89% free throw shooter or whatever his numbers is, right? Which makes him that much greater. So to me, when I'm watching him, and I know some people go, why is he up at the top? Because he and Doc explained it. Because of today's game, you kind of have to do that. But now I can pick and choose, Joe, James, when I can go into the block and take somebody to work and get them in trouble. Like, oh, you know what? I'm going to foul you out. The Nokic, whatever his name was from Portland, I'm going to put you in foul trouble early. I'm going to get rid of you early.
Yeah.
So when that bulb goes on, and you can see it with him, right? I've seen that more with him this year than any years past where last year he did it because he had to carry the team for the most part till Harden got there. But you can see now where he's like, I got it. And that's the thing, man. We as fans, we have to be patient with players. It's hard. I look at a guy like Shake Milton. I'm happy for him. He's healthy. He's getting minutes. And he's like, I am not going back to that bench. No matter what, I'm out here. I'm going to take my minutes, make the best of my opportunities. And everyone's feeding off of each other. And guess what, guys? They like each other. I'm told that Joe never hung out with the team. Last year he started, and this year he's doing it again. Like they have.
Well, I think that had a lot to do with Harden too, because I think there was something. If you guys recall, there was a press conference after, not a press conference, but it kind of like after post-game interview, and both Joe and Harden were at the podium, and they're side by side, and Joe goes, "Yeah, I like to hang out with my family," and Harden interrupts him. He's like, "Well, we're your family." And he's like, "Yeah, but you know what I mean." And like, no, we're your family. And I think Harden was saying it to say, look, I get that you love your family, that you're a family man, but this team, if we're going to take it to the next step, has to be like a family.
Yeah,
it has to be. And I think that was indicative of like what has happened, the culture that has changed. And as many, as much as people might think that, James Harden was going to come here and be a locker room pariah, I honestly think he's been this guy who said, okay, we need to bring in PJ Tucker. And everyone was like, oh God, it's going to be the Houston Rockets of the East. But I think he said, like, to Morey, we need to bring in guys that are going to encourage the culture we're trying to encourage in the locker room. Now, keep in mind, the two future stars of this team are already on the roster, already in that locker room with Melton and Maxey. So you got this culture already beginning.
Yeah.
When Harden's gone, that culture is still going to be around. It's still going to have that fervor.
Yeah.
So his reach is going to be, far exceeding what he's doing now.
Yeah.
But, the one thing I can tell you is that on Wednesday night, when Brooklyn comes, Ben's going to get hurt if he winds up playing.
He's going to make an excuse not to play.
One of those deals.
James, if he gets hurt, who could Ben call?
Yeah, if he doesn't come back out of Philly, he can give David Archeri a call and for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal criminal law. Give him a call at 610-565-0300 and tell him that the guys over at Pattison Avenue and EOP sent you.
More especially Joe Marks. Because I want to make sure that he knows that I'm sending him to a personal injury attorney because he is such a aloof.
And also the same thing with Jokic too. If we get let's say for example, Joel Embiid doesn't win the MVP again, we can call Cherry for another violation.
I will tell you this right. I will tell you this right now. I will go on record. I will go on record on this show. I will go on record as to say, if Jokic wins a third straight Most Valuable Participant award, I will go on a freaking snap fest on this show.
I know you will.
I bet you will. I bet you will.
And it's funny. Like, I'm at the point now. I'm just like, yo, whatever happens, happens. I just want to
just get the friggin' trophy, man.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to host the trophy. And you know what I'm digging, fellas. This is great, man. I know we had the Union in the finals, Phillies in the World Series, Eagles on their. It's like it's lining up, right? We got the Birds getting ready. And the Sixers are just, they're cooking their meal, getting everything ready for us. So that way, when this is over, we can go right into the spring, man. This is I'm enjoying being I'm enjoying being a Philly fan. I'm loving it. This is what I grew up on.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I think the Sixers love this more than anybody else because let's think about this. Beginning of the season, they flew under the radar because the Phillies were in the playoffs and they went deep. Now they're going to probably fly under the radar. As long as the Eagles are in the playoffs, they're going to fly under the radar again.
I think, Joe, I think people are watching from afar a little bit because they know it's coming. But to your point, like they were under the radar a lot with the Phillies, but now people are kind of, keeping an eye. Okay, I got the Birds, but I'm keeping an eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're checking in. They're checking
in.
They're checking
well, speaking of your Philadelphia Eagles, let's get down to the main event. The main event tonight.
Joe, hold up, Joe. Give us the main. Come on, Joe.
I'm gonna give it to you. Just wait. I got something special. I got something special. I got something special.
All right, my brother.
That all my wrestling fans are gonna love.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So, Joe, can I say something real quick before you start?
Ahead.
I was calm this week. Okay, I was calm. I was, because because like I said, I called the best show ever. I said, listen, I lived in New York with the school. You know, Giants fans didn't really bother me as much as the Philly Cowboy fans.
Mm-hmm.
But when I heard, James, that they were going to invade the link and invade Xfinity Live and try to take over,
I heard that.
I pulled a Joey Marks and I am livid. Joe, yours.
Time's yours.
So,
They
my
woke me up.
question to you, the first one to kick off, is there anything about this Giants team that scares you tonight? James?
God, no.
No. Okay. Okay.
Let me.
James? Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Well, let me reference what I'm trying to say here. The last handful of weeks, the only thing I heard was Jalen Hurts' shoulder, and I'm sick and tired of it because I'm sick and tired of the team. Everybody that tells me, "Oh, you got to keep an eye on for Jalen Hurts' arm." Hey, listen, he can still run. Damn it, he can still run the rock. So guess what? Do yourself a favor tonight. Don't worry about the shoulder. Worry about him walking over your damn grave.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm still on what we were talking about from last week's show about them talking too much about this injury. We've never heard that before. This week, he's not on the injury report. Oh, by the way, Joey, I don't know if you heard. I'm sure you have because you keep your ears close to the grind. The Giants are supposedly going to target that shoulder, James.
Oh,
That's
yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
I heard
Well, here's the
it.
thing.
There's a
Like Joey
loose
said it
bounty.
before. Go ahead, Joe.
There's a loose bounty on Jalen Hurts' shoulder. A couple people from the Giants have already made it clear, including Julian Love, that they're targeting the shoulder.
Okay. James, you gonna say something? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying like me and Joey talked about it before the show started. Like
Yeah.
Jordan Mailata is going to be like, you ain't touching my quarterback. You
Oh,
now you scared.
Or Lane. See,
yeah. I forgot about Lane.
See now, you don't poke the bears, Joey says. You poked me. I was quiet. Now you're going to now on top of that, you're going to take over the link. You're going to take over Xfinity Live. Now you want to injure my quarterback? Okay.
The way I said it to James earlier, I said the Philadelphia sports faithful better have bail money collected for Jordan Mailata because he's going to kill somebody. He's going to commit a crime tonight. Like that's for sure. There's going to be assault and battery on that field.
Yeah, word is they called the judge. I don't know if he's retired or around, or his nephew, his grandson from the old vet. They're going to have to open up court at the link tonight.
Oh yeah,
serious.
Jerry Firm should be
down there.
locked and loaded tonight.
Hey, listen, Night Court has just come back. They rebooted the old TV series Night Court. Let's get Dan Fielding and Harry Stone, and let's get it going tonight in the link.
No, because when you start talking like that, that tells me you already know you can't beat us. When you start talking, I want to hurt your quarterback's shoulder. Jalen Hurts. And I this is kind of like, so Muhammad Ali had this thing about him where he would the bravado people thought was out of being cocky. Part of it was, but he himself said, I had to do that to get into my opponent's head so that I can win that part of the match before we got into the ring. Makes sense, right? That's got it. I got it. May God rest his soul. Jalen Hurts reminds me of that in a sense, but it's the opposite. He's quiet. He's like, yeah, we're just gonna go out and do our thing. And I'm looking at this dude going, dude, you're ready to go smash somebody. You're ready to go.
He's locked in.
And then not only is he locked in, James, no one can tell me that he doesn't remember what Todd Bowles said about him last year, that he couldn't read the defense.
Oh, Todd Bowles is unemployed now, so go.
Oh, they fired him?
Yeah.
They fired him?
Yeah.
Really?
The Tampa Bay lost about 7 different coaches and coordinators.
Wow.
I know the offensive coordinator was. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
so,
that is crazy.
Yeah. So
Tom Brady could be on his. We'll get more into this, but Tom Brady could be on his way to Vegas.
Yeah, he's not staying there. But so when you look at the whole thing, and what let's get down to what this team is. Okay, they know they didn't play their best brand of football those last 3 weeks. Understandably so. One thing about them that I got from them this year and that I appreciate is that when they say they get locked in, they really mean it. BG said something yesterday in the press conference. He's like, and I'm paraphrasing, basically, we understand what it takes in this playoffs. It's a different game. And as much as how he turned the team around, he still has guys who have been there. And also for the fans who go, oh, don't make the playoffs last year. Now we're going to see where that's going to help this team moving forward, because nothing can surprise them. They've been there. They got a taste of it. Now they know what to expect. We're at home. The game is tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Tonight.
There is going
Prime
to be a lather going on in that link tonight for sure.
What's going to be, Joe? Let me check, Joe. A lather.
It's going to be.
Now, is that Dove or Ivory or what was the O in the Irish?
Oh no, it's Irish Spring, because Irish Spring is green.
Yeah. Irish Spring. Yeah.
Irish Spring was the green soap.
Yeah.
So
And
we're getting a little Irish Spring going.
As a kid, I did take a knife and try to cut it. Why was I doing it? Because of the commercial told me to.
I was thinking zest, but I guess I.
But to leave everything that you read. But no, the one thing that I feel with this team tonight, as far as fearing anything about the Giants, I don't, but I do sit there and go, all right, if we stop Saquon Barkley like we stopped King Henry and like we stopped, Saquon before, my feeling is this: you then put this game in the hands of Daniel Jones, and that's not a thing that the Giants want. I don't give a damn what people are saying. Well, look what he did to the Vikings. The Vikings are
were 31 like last in the league with their defense. They just fired their coach during the week.
Thank you. I was just going to get there. The 31 in the league. They're second to last in the league in defense. Yes, I could have put Mike Kafka out there, and he could have lit them up. Listen, this is my feeling. The way that you're going to see this game tonight, because everyone starts to go, well, look how we looked against the third string of the Giants the last time. Yeah, okay. Well, look how we looked the first time we faced them in the first time this season, where we smoked them from beginning to end, where we stepped on the field and owned them. Oh, and by the way, that was in their house.
Oh.
So best believe when the lights shine bright tonight, it's going to be a different animal. And we brought up earlier about how the fan base with the World Series and the playoff run with the Phillies. I live blocks away from the stadiums, and I felt the vibrations and heard the vibrations from the Phillies and the bank. My feeling is tonight, unfortunately, I love the DVR games and then catch up because I don't like watching commercials. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to watch commercials tonight because there is no way in hell that I can DVR and not know what the hell's going on because I want to hear it from my house.
Yeah.
Will you be listening to Merrill, or will you be listening to the actual broadcast?
I do Merle and Mike. I do Merle. I have the broadcast on, but I have Merle and Mike in my ear. I can't watch no other way.
I do a little bit of both because someone asked me once before, like with my vision loss, do I like now just listening to the game on radio, or do I like to listen to it on the TV? And I said, there's pros and cons to both sides.
Sure.
The pro for the radio obviously is there's more detailed value that they give you visually.
Sure.
The pro with the television broadcast, and you guys know I like this, is that they give me more statistical value. Yeah. They throw out those stats and like little anecdotal things that I love.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
and I enjoy.
Yeah,
so that is something. That's the reason why I kind of go back and forth. The interesting, and that's why I like DVR. But my feeling with this game is if they stifle Barkley, I don't have fear in this defense, in the Giants defense. I don't give a damn what people are telling me.
What has to happen for me fellas, is that Gannon, I need you. I need you to come out. I don't need sticks. I was a Boy Scout, first class scout. I went on camping trip. We camp once a month. I'm not trying to camp tonight. I don't need any sticks. You know what I'm saying? I don't need any. No, I don't need any twigs. Defense. I need you to go out and man up. I need you to go out. Let Hassan Reddick loose. We have Sweat back, James. Let him catch a sweat or 2 or 3 or 4 on Daniel, so-called DJ Jones now by the Giants fans, right? I need you to disrupt him. Even if you don't sack him, put your hands on him. Let him know that we're in your face, okay? That has to happen early and often. Then I got a surprise for you. I know we brought in Sue and Levon Joseph. Jordan Davis is going to have a big game tonight. Jordan Davis is going to come in and be impactful.
I hope so.
Yeah, this is to Joe's point, because once you stifle them, right, and this has to be established in the first half. Okay, one thing about Gannon, this is quite interesting. They talked about it this week. And give credit where credit's due. He has a way of making adjustments in the second half. We saw it in the Saints game where they didn't give up much, right? I'm like, dude, whatever you adjust in the bring that to the first half. Just let those guys loose. It's the playoffs. At this point in time, that stick defense, I know we can't. We understand that you can't blitz every time. We're not saying that. But enough to where this guy has to feel uncomfortable. You stop the run. Now you put it in Daniel Jones's hands, and there goes 2 picks, Joe. There goes a nice fumble for the game, and that's 3 turnovers. Jalen Hurts does his thing. We let Quez is going to have a big night tonight, fellas. Quez is going to have a big night tonight.
Well,
nice.
Quez and Goddard.
Nice.
We're going to get to those standouts in a minute. One of the things I'm curious about, and this is the thing that. So I'm not going to officially apologize, because I'm not. I'm not going to do this because it's not a Matty B thing. It's not any of that. The Godfather spoke on WIP the other day. Brian Dawkins, my guy. He said something, and when he speaks, I listen.
D.F. Hutton.
So he has said something about Gannon and the blitzing and what people have been saying about the blitzing. He's like, listen, I get it. People want to have people blitz, but it's a different game than it was when we played. It's a faster game. So when you blitz, these kind of quarterbacks and these kind of athletes nowadays can kind of adjust on the fly, and you could be caught with your pants down, and you don't want that. He said, you don't need to worry about the word blitz or the idea of blitz. What you have to worry about is playing your game, playing the game that you know you're capable of playing. He's like, what do you think I did when I came to play? He's like, I knew I had to go and turn into this animal to completely unleash my capabilities on that field. He's like, there's a reason why people never went across the field on me. I understand. So, Jonathan, I am going to tell you one thing. I agree with Dame. Let the kids eat. Let the dogs eat. Let them off the chain. I'm not asking you to blitz. I'm not going that far. What I am saying is, let our guys eat. Let them go and play free. Let them play their game, like B-Dog said. That's where I'm at. Yep. And understand something. Someone was said on Joe Giglio's show, the comparison from position to position, from team to team. Offensive line, offensive weapons to defensive weapons. The Eagles surpassed the Giants by a lot. Not by a little, by a lot. And, I can't see this game going any other way but the Eagles. Now, my question to you guys is, do you think Jalen Hurts is not on the injury report? Neither is Lane Johnson. Do you guys think that Jalen Hurts is still playing hurt? Dame?
Nah,
No.
nah, nah. And I'll say this: the old cliche, everyone's heard at this point in the season, right? So to the magnitude of how much or percentage of injury that you may be carrying, no, I don't think so. I think that this young man is just wired to like he's not gonna he's smart enough to go out there and know what he needs to do to get through this game to help his team win, and he's not going to put himself in position. If you go back to that last game of the season when we saw the lanes, right? There were lanes there to be had. He chose not to utilize them because wanted to preserve the shoulder. Got you. But that extra week that they worked hard for, that they accomplished that. That was the point of and it's the same mantra that the Andy Reid Eagles teams did. We got to get home field. They've accomplished that, and it was needed. Now they understand that this is a new season. No, he's not playing hurt. He's going to go out there and he's going to play Hurts. He's going to play Hurts. He's going to hurt the hell out of the Giants. But no, he's fine, man. And if you remember, even in that Bears game, James, he went out and tossed 2 touchdowns after his shoulder hit the ground.
Yep. James, what do you think? Do you think Jalen is playing hurt, or do you think that he's as close to 100% as he possibly can be?
I don't think he's hurt at all. I think right now, I speak for everybody here. I think they're probably the healthiest they've been since the and probably going back to like the last game they played against each other was against Tennessee, going back to hard to believe almost 2 months ago. I think this is probably the healthiest team they had since then.
Yeah.
And tonight, like you said, Dame, I think Hurts is going to play out of his mind. And the one thing I liked about what Hurts did this week, he actually talked to the team, and he said, like they say, hungry dogs run faster. He says, no, dude, I'm starving for this shit. I'm ready. I'm ready. I was like, dude, you know what?
Yeah.
When he said that, I was saying, this guy is going to feast tonight.
Yeah.
So this leads into my next question, which is this game tonight for Jalen Hurts about getting the monkey off his back from last season?
Absolutely.
Dame?
Yeah, and also, Joe, it's more special. It's his. I know I'm not biting my tongue. It's his first home playoff game as an Eagle. This is big. This is big, man. This is big, man. And he gets it. He gets it. He knows what's at stake. Like sometimes I'll share this with you guys as we're family. I'm weird. Sometimes I go, wow, I wonder what Joel Embiid's doing on game day, like right about now. So, and I do that with the Eagles. I wonder what Jalen's doing. What is Goddard thinking right now? I do that. Like
same thing.
You do too? Yeah. It's like, and nothing crazy. Just like, and it's all of what are they doing to prepare for that game? That's where it is, And so, like right now, like I guess the game's at 8:30, so I figured they have to get to the stadium by 3:00 today, somewhere in that ballpark.
Oh, I'm sure some of them are already there.
I think they're already there already. I think for 12 hours before the game.
Yeah, and they might very well maybe, looking at some tape, tightening up some things. But man, I just tell you, I know people say it's the playoffs. I know people say, well, it's a division, but they because I'm gonna tell you what's been happening this week. Little snippets. Oh, the Giants, like you said, have been on a roll. You can't beat a team 3 times in a row. All these things are being said about the Eagles, and not once have the Eagles said, "Okay, they've been okay. Yeah, have at it. Speak your mind." Because I can tell you better than I can tell you.
Let's squash this 3 in a row. The record for teams to win 3 in a row is 14-9. That's not overwhelming. Okay, that's not overwhelming. And for me, I listened to even John Runyon, who said that he had been in with Tennessee where they beat the Jags 3 in a row.
Yep.
And you have to understand something. It's not like an impossible feat. It's just its familiarity can lead to a closer game than what it probably should be. If there wasn't that, if you played like a team once you're not as familiar. You don't know all the things that they're going to possibly do. But the Giants have seen enough from Hurts, that they're going to have they're going to know what his tendencies are. Okay, that's fine. But you don't think that Jalen's not game planning to disguise that? I mean, let's be real. Just because if we're making excuses for the sake of making excuses, fine, but come up with something better than just saying it's the third game that we're playing against this team in this season.
Well, what happens is they make those comments as a way, I actually call it a lazy way of thinking, is like to say, oh, no matter what, after you beat this team twice, you have to find a way. Yeah. To beat them. So
yeah,
the thing that really interests me. So I think about Daniel Jones. This is his fourth year in the league, fourth or fifth, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
Whereas though we know Jalen's first year, Carson was there. Last year was his first full year, and this is Jalen's third year, and he's obviously surpassed Daniel Jones as a quarterback in my eyes. And so for him, and he says, we left stuff, we left some things out there, whatever. I think that to your original question, Joe, he has to prove to himself that, not only can I lead my team to a playoff victory, I can lead them to where we want to get to. So this is big for him, man. He's and guess what? I trust him to accept the challenge. I feel that confident with him as my quarterback that he can because I've seen enough. I've seen enough where I'm like, this dude has it. The other thing that I'm excited to see, that Steichen and Sirianni, they have plays that they haven't even implemented yet, and we're going to see some tonight.
Oh my!
We're going to see some tonight.
Oh my!
They gave us the preview a few games ago with when they had the three receivers lined up. Then they went away from it. They got some stuff they haven't even shown yet. But I would like to see special teams put us in better field position. I think that will help be helpful for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing I can piggyback off that is that tonight, everybody says that basically that the Eagles are going to don't know what they're coming into. But I'm like, you're at the Link. It's prime time Saturday night, and it's like, okay, so do you have any idea what kind of sports town we live in? I mean, this ain't like Cleveland. I'm sorry to break it.
A
buddy of mine, but this ain't like no pushover sports town. We are really passionate about what this team and number one seed in the conference and number one seed in all of the NFC, and also, like I said at the beginning, electrifying at the Link tonight. That's how it's going to be, and I'm going to be there to see what this Eagles team has in store. And I'm telling you right now, I'm even getting chills for it right now. I cannot wait until what this team has in store tonight, guys.
And James, if there are other people out there like you that are going down to the Link tonight and want to go to a great tailgate, they can go to phillysportstrips.com and go to and join Vince and the crew from phillysportstrips.com at the Gatehouse down at the Navy Yard. $150 gets you probably lean cuisine, and I'm not talking about the frozen dinners. I'm talking gourmet food at a tailgate. Get your lather going with phillysportstrips.com tonight.
Yes, sir.
Go to the Gatehouse, have a good old time, get a filet mignon sandwich.
Can't go wrong with that, brother. Can't go wrong with that.
Get a pasta salad. Get your lather going. Before we dive into some of the predictions for the Eagles, I want to go around the league a little in the sense that I wanted to talk about the rumor with Tom Brady could be that he could be going back to reunite with his old coordinator, Josh McDaniels, in Vegas. Now, you have someone like Devontae Adams in Vegas and Jacobs in Vegas that are very enticing for Tom to go play with. They have a lot of good weapons offensively. They're just missing that quarterback. It would be a nice place for a newly divorcee to go play in Vegas. So my question to you guys is, do you believe that Tom's coming back And do you believe that Tom's going to Vegas, Dame?
Coming back. I don't know. And I say I don't know because I think he's done. I know they fired everybody on that team, but I keep saying my eyes, but it just comes a time where Father Time catches up. Like he wasn't as sharp. And actually, to be honest with you, it started last year. I saw some things last year where you could tell he wasn't as sharp, and then it just carried over into this year. Yeah, I mean, it depends on obviously it depends on the dollar, the amount of money they want to throw his way. And if they do a 1-year deal, I don't know, 35 for 1 year or whatever they come up with, or 25 or whatever they come up with, possibly. But at this point, it's like, how much more do you have left in you? You'll be 46 years old. You're closer to 50 than you are, and that's not old, but in terms of sports, I mean, he's got a lot of miles, man. So I don't know. Would I be surprised if he came back? Probably not, because his ego is a little bit, in that realm of like, if I could play the 90, I would. So we'll see, man. I don't know. I don't know if I answer your question, but I don't know. I just wouldn't be surprised if he did. I'll say it like that.
James, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll piggyback what you just said there, Dame. I think I agree 100%. The other thing too that really surprised me with Brady is that he thinks he still has a lot left in the tank, but he really doesn't. I mean, the last couple games, like the last time, I mean, this season, I mean, obviously they couldn't. I mean, like they have a home game and they didn't have a winning record. That's how bad the division was. I mean, usually Brady basically takes them away, blows every team away, but. I mean, like you said, like my dad just said, Father Time is undefeated, and I agree 100% on that.
That's what I was trying to get to. Yeah, you can't beat it. Because to James' point, like there were think about this. Brady never really had even going back to New England days, he never had no. I know the year that my man played with them, not Chris. The other receiver,
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss. That was like his best receiver. I mean, the other guys were okay, but he made those guys better.
Right.
But now it's like, he's just Father Time.
The only two top
Father Time. Like Father Time will come back and
the only two top receivers Tom Brady's ever played with was Antonio Brown and Randy Moss. That was
Antonio Brown and Randy Moss.
Yeah. So I mean, but here's
we know he had Gronk all those years. Gronk.
Yeah.
Gronk, you know what I mean?
And then he had a couple other players like Edelman and Deion Branch and also.
Yeah, Deion Branch. Yeah. But Deion Branch, they were okay. Then Deion Branch is not going to go. You're not going to go, wow, Deion Branch. Like Randy Moss is a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I even go to Wes Welker. Like Wes Welker out of all of those guys.
Yeah, Wes Welker was good. Absolutely.
He was good, but when he left Brady, you could see the drop off. The same with Chris Hogan and a couple other guys.
Hogan, yeah.
So
Antonio Brown was great. He's just nuts, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's
right now about to serve jail time soon.
Yeah, he's wanted.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Absolutely.
But the one thing that I think is that Tom's not going to go to Vegas as much as people want to say he would. Here's why I say that.
Okay.
He doesn't want to go to Vegas for the reason that he left New England. He wanted to make sure that everyone in the world knew that he could do things on his own. Not with McDaniels, not with Belichick, not with anybody else. He wanted to make it clear he could do it on his own. But the problem was he could never get along with the people that were really dishing out the orders, like Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians was his coach, and he's the one that sent Bruce to the luxury box. He's the one that said, "I don't want you on my sidelines."
Really?
Yeah.
Because I got a feeling he didn't connect with Leftwich, even though they won together in that first year with the Super Bowl. I got a feeling he didn't respect him or Bowles.
Well, here's the thing: is I think both. The reason why Bowles got the nod, it's similar to how some people believe that there are certain people in this league that are just yes men to the diva player. Well, Tom has that cachet with what he's accomplished to be that guy to kind of dictate what he wants and how he wants it. Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich, they're not going to tell Tom Brady, the greatest player to probably ever play, that, you can't do this. You can't do it that way. Because he's going to just turn around and say, do you not know who I am?
Right.
One more thing I gotta say about that is, it looked like to me like every coach that he brought in turned out to be a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, Bruce Arians was the only guy that actually helped him out, and he said, "I want him out. I want to get him out of here." It's
Well,
like I don't get it. I mean, but Brady's a punk. I don't
Well, that
know.
goes back to what so what you guys are saying. That goes back to my thing about his ego. Like, dude,
Yeah.
it's like I mentioned him like Ali fought 5 years too long, in my opinion. You know, when Ali first came out, I wasn't even born, but then as a kid, he was just like this. He's Ali. Like he was, you stood around the TV to watch, and then by the early '80s. He was Trevor Burback and all them dudes. He's fighting, and he fought Larry Holmes because, Holmes was a sparring, but he was like done. Like there was nothing left. And so what happened was, it wasn't about people paying to go see him fight. It was the mystique. Yo, I go get to see this man. So I think that with Brady, like not any team, but certain teams will go, I'll sign up to take him, right? Because they know that's going to bring in a fan base. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude's done. He's done.
So I'll add to that, and James, you can help me out here.
Sure.
So Wayne Gretzky played for the LA Kings, and then he went to play.
And that's when I saw him play live when I worked at the Forum, by the way.
He played with Edmonton, then he played with the Kings, then he went back to hang out with his buddy Messier in New York. Yep. My question, didn't he play for another team after that, though, James?
Yeah, he played for 1 year with St. Louis. I think it was
St. Louis.
The Blues.
He played
did.
With the Blues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
James, he did. I forgot about that.
How I knew that? The Steve Eiserman game back when he won in overtime, and Gretzky was on that team with the Blues.
I remember seeing him in that uniform. God, wow.
Yep. So that's the question.
Yep.
That's the question that I had. So at that point, and this is why I bring it up and to kind of ask James, because it's such like a underwhelming perspective. No one remembers that because by that point, Gretzky's cachet, his mystique, as Damon put it, kind of faded, and it was starting to fade in New York. And like that's the difference. Is like when he was the great one, he was playing in Edmonton and in LA. But then once he got to New York, it just seemed like he was, calling it in. So, if Brady goes to Vegas, I feel like it's the same as Gretzky going to the Blues.
Yeah, I think and also Gretzky left Edmonton because I think his wife was an actress and he wanted to move out to LA at the time because it was a lot of some of the. Go ahead, I'm sorry, James. A lot of it was dealing with that too.
No, you're fine. I think he got traded, and I remember watching that whole sequence about how he got traded, and he was like a mess. He was like saying to myself, like I remember like actually getting teary up. I was not even born at the time, but it was just like one of my favorite players, like Brian Dawkins, getting traded to Denver, and it was like it was a similar kind of circumstance. Like it was like unexpected. And
well, you mean with Gretzky? When he got
Gretzky. But traded. It was like Dawkins getting traded to Denver. Yep.
But he had a hand in it a little bit because something about wanting to be in LA. It's I forget all the logistics.
Yeah, I forget how
but he had a hand in it. But going back to that, when you say that about these guys, right? You think about it's. I get it because you go, I'm the man. Like I've been the man all these years, and I can honestly say they love their sport, right? Aside from the ego, like they love to play the game as opposed to somebody we talked about earlier in the show who doesn't love to play the game as much. I love the lifestyle, but these guys actually did love their sport. So in regards to Brady, like it would be interesting to see, like if in fact he did whoever he played for, and how much they're willing to pay him, and how much they're willing to sacrifice. I'm sure he would want to go to a team, Joe, that similar to Tampa Bay, that has a chance to win. But Yeah,
But
man, it would be interesting to see.
just keep in mind, Fox has that 10-year, $325 million
Yeah,
contract just waiting for Brady to just
I heard they
say,
gave him some money up front
Yeah,
already.
him and Gronk can do FanDuel commercials too. Jesus Christ.
That
Yeah,
guy can't get away from the television screen.
no, he has to see
Jesus
himself
Christ.
on the television screen at all times.
Yeah.
But so to get to some of the playoff games outside of the Eagles, and then
Ooh,
we'll
yeah,
circle
man.
back around.
Yeah, let's get it.
So, the Buffalo Bills Cincinnati Bengals playoff game. This, stirs up some memories of that Monday night game. Darren Hamlin is going to be at the stadium. T. Higgins messaged him just to say, if you're there, I would love to talk to you before the game, just to say hello. Even my question to you guys: who wins? Who do you guys got for the Bengals Bills game, James?
Ooh, I mean, that's a good matchup.
Yeah, man. So much.
There's a lot of celebration and sorrow at the same time because especially with that hit that happened exactly a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be Buffalo going to be coming out with this because if let's say for example DeMar Hamlin goes to that game tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, that's going to be electric. It's going to be like everybody's going to be like, it's good to know that he's like leading them out of the locker room. That'll be even more cool to see that. But yeah, I think Buffalo's got the advantage in that. But Joe Burrow's really good, so it's going to be a close game though.
Yeah, man. I know. I'm up here trying to pull it up just to get an idea of the line and everything. I like Buffalo. Because here's the reason why. And Joe Burrows, as you guys know, is one of my favorite players now. But
Same here.
I like Buffalo in that game because Joe doesn't have an offensive line. And that Buffalo defense is not they're gonna pin their ears back. Although he's gotten the ball out a lot faster, I just think over a period of time it's going to be too much for him to sustain and handle. And hopefully that management gets him an O-line because that's all they need. They have everything else. They just need an O-line. And so I'm looking at the line. Buffalo's favored by 5. I think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah.
27-23, Buffalo, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Burrow's line is even, his offensive line is even hurt. There's a guy that it went down. He's not going to be playing. So that it's going to be a little thinner. So you may see a lot more 3-4 step drops.
I don't know their draft status. I got to look at it. But if I'm them, my first 2 picks are O-linemen. I don't give a darn.
Yeah,
I'll move around. If I got to pull a Howie and trade somebody to move up to get an O, I'm. Whoa! I need to look at that because this is for later. I mean, is Dillard available?
Ooh,
never know. That'll be good for
that's
them.
for later.
That's an interesting proposition
because. And here's the thing: we don't even know what Dillard is, okay? But he must have something because the Eagles didn't get rid of him.
Well, I'll even chime in a little bit more because, and I don't know what his stock value is, but
I think this is the last year.
Jack Driscoll and Dillard could be 2 little chips you put into those.
I was thinking Jack Driscoll too.
And you think about this, like at the worst. Howie gets back a 3rd or a 4th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Joe, and he's going to draft another offensive lineman, be it 3rd, 4th round anyway.
Right.
That goes without saying.
Right.
Exactly.
That goes without saying. I mean, he's a guy that knows that, especially if Jeff Statlin's in the building.
Yeah. Oh, he has to say,
People graduated from Jeff Statlin University with flying with honors.
Yeah.
As Jordan Mailata.
Yeah. You got him paid.
Yeah. The next playoff game we're going to preview is Big Red and Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hold on, real quick. I'm just keep an eye on that, fellas, with that O-line situation with Cincinnati with the Eagles. Just keep an eye on that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Student versus teacher. Andy Reid versus Doug Peterson.
This is the game I'm looking forward to all weekend. I actually
Yeah.
am looking forward to seeing Doug has his story against Andy. You know,
That's
I mean
the first
that game last week. I don't know why when they were down 27-0, I was saying to myself, if Doug pulls this off, he is a strokey genius, man. I got to be honest with you. That game was just. I mean, it's still amazing how he won that game down 27-0.
Well,
that was amazing, man.
Well, the Jacksonville coach didn't help. You're up 27-0, Joe, when you don't run the ball. You start passing more.
Oh no, you mean the Chargers?
I mean the Chargers. I'm sorry. I'm a Chargers. I'm sorry.
Chargers coach didn't help. Well, he's a bonehead, and
you're up 27-0. I know you have Herbert back there, but at this point,
you got Eckler too. Eckler was Eckler playing too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I mean, understand something. This is a coach that is not going to lose his job, but is sure has burned this team 2 straight years in a row.
You know,
I don't understand how many times you have to screw up in order to not lose your job.
Well, what happens is they go into next season with him. The team starts out bad because he's going to lose the locker room because they're going to look at just what you said. Once that happens, he gets fired mid-season. It just always does. Instead of cleaning it up now. Well, that's their problem. I don't give a darn. But
I don't give a damn about that either. But the one thing I took out of that too is that I kind of don't feel bad for them. Cause no offense to Herbert, he's a fantastic quarterback. But just like Mike Williams going down on the last game of the season, it was like,
why was he even playing?
Yeah, what was that all about?
Why were you even playing him?
Yeah, I mean,
you may have shortened Mike Williams' career. You may have stunted.
He has a broken back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like you may have stunted Justin Herbert's career. I think there's going to be a mass exodus from the LA region.
Yeah. 5% of LA fans not going to games.
Yeah, the good thing the airport's only a couple miles, like
San Diego,
away from the stadium. Yeah. But
LAX is right around the corner.
Yeah, it's like go. We can get you boarding tickets right over there. But so, what do you guys think about with the Jaguars Chiefs game? What are you guys feeling, Dame?
Yeah, Andy's going to beat them. It's a nice story, Dougie P. But Big Red, they're locked in. They're going to go out and put it to them. It may be a little. It may 42-30.
Oh, I was going to say 42-13. Like,
damn.
42-30.
All right.
Damn.
James, what do you think?
I got the Jags, man. I think the Jags are going to pull an upset. I really think Doug is going to pull an upset. I really do believe that. And I mean, like I said last week, like he was down 27-0, and he was like, "Let's just go to work." Same thing. And Andy Reid, we all know how Andy is in the playoffs, so you never know.
See, my feeling is this: I wipe out so much away, and on both teams, and it comes down to 2 players, Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
And if I'm taking a quarterback for a franchise to lead my franchise to success, it would be Patrick Mahomes. So for me, that's what it really boils down to. I think the Chiefs. I think Doug gives it a run, but I honestly think the Chiefs win 35-24.
Yeah, we're about the same. We're about the same ballpark. Yeah.
I guess
it's going to go. It'll be a run. Like
it'll be a
beginning.
Yeah, it's not going to be a blowout.
And then in the second half, he's just going to put him away. Yeah, that game's before our game. I got to make sure I'm sitting down locked in.
So the last game on the docket.
That's going to be a fun game, too.
Is the Cowboys and 49ers. Now, I have to ask, because I know there are Cowboy fans listening to this program.
What up, Dave? Dave Yarnold? What's up, Dave?
What do you think of, is the Cowboys' success against the Bucs a mirage or reality? Dame?
Wow, that's an interesting question. This is a team that the quarterback missed 4 weeks and led the league in interceptions. This is a team, the Cowboys, who, when they're on, I got to give them credit, they're on, right? However, this is also a team that can smell themselves. And what I mean is, because the media, because of their fan base and their Philly fan base, think that they're still stuck in the 90s. I'm not even going to go back to the 70s. They still walk around as if it's still the 90s. Like, oh, we just walk on the field. We can beat anyone. And that's what gets them, right? I look at this game. It's very interesting. And I looked at Frisco last week. They're a good team. They're a good team, good defense. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys won, James.
Oh my!
But I'm going to take the 49ers. I wouldn't be. And remember, tell you why. I'm explaining myself. Going back, when the Cowboys are on, they're good. And they may have something to prove. I don't think they played the 49ers at all this year. I don't believe they played them at all this year. But the 49ers on this 11-game winning streak now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that can come into effect.
Brock Purdy's undefeated as a starting
Purdy's
quarterback.
undefeated. Yeah, he doesn't know what's hit him.
If Parsons, it's just a honeymoon for it at this point.
Yeah.
It's just the honeymoon of Purdy. I don't know.
If Parsons can get back there a few times, they got my man Vanderich. I stood next to him.
Vanderich is good. I mean,
I stood. He's legit. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
dude,
man.
He's like that cartoon character from the Flintstones when Fred went to Princeton, and there was the big dude. That's Vanderich. I stood there. I'm like, my God, this dude is huge. But if they could get to him, man, they have a shot. I'm going to pick the 49ers. Not the cop out. I won't be surprised if the Cowboys won. I'll just leave it like that. But I'm going to take the 49ers, 29-23.
James?
I don't know about if I'm going to pick Dallas because obviously I'm a homer and that's the thing I could take out of it. Mm-hmm. But I think the one thing I could say about it too is that Purdy's going to make it a game out of it. But the one thing Prescott will do is that he'll turn the ball over. I know that's what he'll be doing probably in late in games or probably who knows whenever he'll turn the ball over. But I got to go with San Francisco in this game. And I guess and next game we'll be here at the Lincoln to take on the chance to become Super Bowl NFC champions and move on to Super Bowl 57. And they'll be coming down to the link next week if that's the case. Mm-hmm. Either Dallas or – but I got to go with San Fran on that one because I can't
what you got,
Dallas.
Joe?
So, here's the way I feel. I don't normally hedge, but this game can teeter-totter, in my mind, so many different directions. Mm-hmm. I lean towards Dak and his ability to turn the ball over, and then I match that up with what San Francisco's defense brings to the table.
DeMarco Ryans, former Eagles defense coordinator for them, by the way.
Yes, DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco Ryans said DeMeco.
Yeah, DeMeco Ryans. So, my feeling is that if Dak throws 2+ interceptions this game, the Cowboys are going to lose. That's where I feel like I'm hedging my bet, because if he throws under 2 interceptions this game, I feel like they could win, because then Dak's not taking them out of the game. He's keeping them in the game.
Right.
And I just feel like I'm not fearful of Brock Purdy. I understand that people are treating this guy like a darling of the league, but he hasn't played against defenses that are stout.
He's the Jeremy Lin when Jeremy Lin lit things up in the NBA and everybody
Tebow and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, they thought he was the next
Tim Tebow effect.
But Joe, let me just say something. You said something really interesting. The 2 picks that he could possibly get. I see that, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing that's been working, James, in Frisco's favor is their field position. Now, a lot of that is from the defense, right? The defense is able. So, but to what Joe is saying, if they get him to throw at least 2 picks, it's going to be a long day for the Cowboys.
And there's a reason why I say 2+ picks, because there's a stat that I looked up Anytime that Dak Prescott throws 2 picks or more in a game, he's never won.
What?
He has never won.
Wow. Wow.
So my feeling is if
Huh.
the Niners get those 2 picks, this game is over.
Yeah.
And but that's why I'm saying, like, I don't normally hedge where I'm choosing to say, okay, this has to happen in order for this team to win, and this has to happen in order for
It's
this team to
valid.
win. But
That's interesting.
Yeah,
for
it is.
me, it's a matter of if Dak is the linchpin to this game. If Dak underperforms and throws more than 2 interceptions, the Dallas Cowboys are going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
If Dallas throws less than 2 and Dak throws less than 2 interceptions, the Dallas Cowboys are going to win because Brock Purdy isn't going to light the world on fire against that kind of defense on Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has a good defense. I've never taken that away from them. I wouldn't call them top tier, but they're definitely not bottom tier. They're definitely formidable, more formidable than I think most defenses that Brock Purdy has faced. So I feel like if Dak stays under that mark, the Cowboys are good to go. And I'm still sticking with the possibility of the Eagles' road to the Super Bowl goes through the NFC East. So I'm going to hedge and say plus 2 interceptions, Dallas loses. Under 2 interceptions, Dallas wins.
Yeah, you're kind of, it's funny. You're kind of like me with that. Like when they're on, they have a shot. That's less 2 interceptions. But when they're not on, man, and it'll be interesting. The other thing, I'll just one up with you with that game. To me, it comes down to Shanahan and McCarthy.
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree. And if I had to choose between either coach, I'm not picking McCarthy.
Dude,
Let's just put it that way.
He's not the brightest bulb.
He's not even the dimmest bulb. But he's a blackout bulb.
He's not even a red light. He's not even a red light.
No.
No. Not in the red light district.
There's one thing I have to talk about this, but this is actually a pretty good stat. Did you guys know that majority of, except for Prescott, all the quarterbacks in the league that are playing this weekend are younger than me?
Wow.
They're all younger than me. I'm 6 years younger than Patrick Mahomes, dude.
Wow.
Think about that. Dak Prescott was born in 93, and all the other players, I think Burrow was born in 97. Purdy was born in 99. I think Allen was born in 96, and I think somebody else was born in 98. But they're all younger than me, dude.
Hurts is younger than you. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Hurts
24.
is only 24.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm 28. I'm going to be coming up on 28.
Oh,
Gotcha.
God. James is an old man.
I know.
When that happens,
28,
when that happens, I know we've been on the air for very long.
Dude, I'm like 28. I haven't said that number in my God. God
Trust
bless
me, man.
you, brother.
Doesn't.
Nah, it's all good. It's like, look.
I'd rather feel like I'm old than watching like someone that's like a Tom Brady that I saw when I was a kid still play.
Brother.
If we're talking about age, you know that I'm older than Nick Sirianni by like 6 months, 7 months.
Same with me with Mahomes. He was born in 95,
Mahomes.
But he was born in September. I was born in February.
I'm like, great. I could have been the coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. Fantastic.
Wow.
Anyhow,
I'm more of an arrangers with the coaches.
So, speaking of our Philadelphia Eagles, I'm gonna do a bit at the end, but I want to get you guys predictions on the game on tonight's game. Dame, how are you feeling? What's your score? What's your predictions? How do you think this game is gonna go?
I'm feeling, and I thought about it yesterday. I'm feeling 34-17. I'm liking that. I came on. I want us to tear them up, but I also want the team to have fun. I want them to go out there and have a ball. You're at home. You're in front of this crowd. That's going to be, dude, they already started cracking the bottles. All right. The bottles are starting cracked up. So if we have any Giants fans listen to the show, listen. Soul Sonic Force had a song back in the day called "Play It at Your Own Risk." You're playing at your own risk, okay? I'm not an advocate for going out there hurting somebody. That's not what I do. But I'm just warning you, don't poke that bear. These people are oiled up. They're ready, and just be mindful. You're talking about taking over. So if we go out and play our game, like BG said, don't make mistakes. We cannot turn the ball over. We have to force turnovers. We need those +2 turnovers from Daniel Jones. And I always like my fumble. That gives me 3 turnovers. We get that. We do what we're supposed to do. Let's run the ball in the beginning, balance it out, get the ball out, get AJ going, get Devontae going, get Gertz going, get Goddard going, excuse me. I said Gertz. Get Goddard going and get my man, the other receiver, Quez Watkins. Get Quez going. And the key thing, keep them. They can't have those 9-minute drives. The Giants. We control the clock. Do what we need to do. And by fourth quarter, we're going to be celebrating. I'm going to pop a nice one for everybody. So I like us 34-17 Birds.
Who do you think is going to be the standout tonight, Dame?
Jalen Hurts.
James, what's your prediction for tonight?
Prediction? Pain. I'm going to be there tonight, like I said, for the 100th time today.
Nice.
But,
you're going to the game.
Yes, sir. I will be there
James,
tonight.
if I were you, I'd say it 100 more times. I don't care.
Dude, you're going to the game. My man. You go have fun, bro.
Oh, and better yet,
well, I'm going to enjoy it,
on
man.
the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
Ooh, been there. I love it.
Right at the 200 level where midfield is, where the Eagles sideline is. So I got a front row seat, man. I cannot wait.
Love it, brother.
Love it.
Beautiful.
And my prediction tonight, Eagles are going to the first half is not going to be – I mean, they're going to try to get their footing, but in the second half, they're going to turn it on. 31-17 Birds. Let's get it.
Cool. Let's get it. I like it. I like it. Uh-oh, Joe.
There you go. Section 202, row 9, dude. I'm there. Let's get it, man.
Let's get it, brother.
So, all week, I heard the Giants trolls come out from underneath the Brooklyn Bridge and start saying that they're going to invade our town. I've heard that the Giants fans are puffing their chest out like Mets fans do in September. Let me be clear when I say this. You're coming to our house at night when the lights shine brightest, when we have the MVP at quarterback at 100%, when we have the top defense in the league and the top offensive line in the league and the most viable and lethal offensive threats in the league. And you come in with peanuts, with Darius Slayton, with Saquon Barkley, with some jobbers that are going to be, do not name this player until later.
Shout out to wrestling jobbers.
Jobbers.
I know what they are. Yeah.
So this is what I have.
We ain't fucking leaving.
This is what I have to say to you guys that want to think that you're going to come into our house, to our city, on our night and do anything but take your shit and go home. Because here is how it's going to play out. Jalen Hurts is going to come into the link tonight and light the Philadelphia sports scene on fire.
First drive.
Yes, sir.
Because he is going to annihilate your secondary. He is going to make your secondary look like San Diego State. He is going to make your defense look irrelevant. But you haven't even gotten to hit the surface, because what you guys don't seem to understand is that you are walking in to the number one team in the NFL. We are the ones, and you are the twos. And that will always be the way it is until Jalen Hurts says differently. This game will go only one way, gangrene way. 31-17 Eagles. When this game is over, New York, when this game is over, Giants fans, you will acknowledge us.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the truth.
Woo!
Wow. Wow.
Woo!
That was awesome, dude.
Josh,
So you
feel me,
come bring blue, but you'll leave black and blue.
Damn right.
Because you
That's
want to
right.
sit here and make it, you want to make it about trying to hurt our guy. Well, we got a 6'8"
Oh.
giant from Aussie that will be a gentle giant, meaning he's going to put you down quick.
Yeah.
It's not going to be painful.
Yeah.
It's just going to be quick.
Can I ask you a question? Over and under for a fight. What do you think? Is it going to be a fight or no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not a question. Julian Love, if he even thinks about blitzing, better know not to go up the gap where Jason Kelsey is. If they call a screen or an RPO where Jason Kelsey's running out, Julian Love better run the other way.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Wink Martindale was a game show host. That's all you need to know.
Yes. And this isn't Let's Make a Deal.
There was a guy named Wink Martindale to host game shows. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and this isn't Let's Make a Deal.
Real talk. Joey knows.
Yeah.
Joey knows. Remember Wink Martindale?
Yeah.
Joker. Did he do?
Joker's
I forget
Wild.
which one he did.
Joker's Wild.
Joker's Wild. Wink Martindale.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
But so that's our show for today. But boys, before we wrap up, we got to get an Eagles chant because this is the beginning of Super Sport Saturday in Philadelphia.
Let's bring it, guys.
Let's bring it. Y'all ready?
Let's go, birds.
E-A-G-L-E-S.
Eagles!